Welcome to Philosophy in Review. In this episode of our Warrior Philosopher series, we will examine the philosophy of Antoine Henri Jomini. Antoine Henri Jomini was a Swiss-French general and military theorist who lived from 1779 to 1869. His most famous work, Summary of the Art of War, is a systematic analysis of military strategy and is especially notable because of its emphasis on logistics. Jomini argued that war is a science, and that it can be won through the application of sound principles. His writings were a strong influence on both sides in the American Civil War. Jomini's philosophy of war as a science is based on analyzing it in order to develop effective strategies and tactics. Unlike some of his contemporaries, he argued that war is not a matter of chance, but that it can be won through careful planning and execution. Jomini saw that the objective of war was to defeat the enemy's forces and that this can be achieved through a combination of maneuver and firepower. He considered that the best way to defeat the enemy is to concentrate your forces against their weakest point. He argued that this would allow you to achieve a decisive victory with minimal casualties. Some critics have pointed out that this is just common sense, but others mention that many military leaders of Jomini's era failed to do this effectively. Jomini believed that for a general to be successful, they must be able to think both strategically and tactically. Also, they must be prepared to adapt to changing circumstances. Jomini considered logistics as essential to victory, another factor that was often overlooked in his era. He understood that a leader must ensure that his troops have the supplies they need, or else they will not be able to fight effectively. In spite of this being a simple concept, the importance of logistics still is overlooked by some military forces today. Like many other military philosophers, Jomini believed that war is a contest of wills and that victory can be achieved by breaking the enemy's will to fight. He argued that this can be done through a combination of military force and psychological pressure. The recommendation to use of psychological tactics was somewhat new at the time, kind of like saying the quiet part out loud, although it had been common in warfare from ancient times. In contrast to some other military thinkers, Jomini believed that the use of force must be proportional to the objective. He argued that it is not necessary to use overwhelming force to achieve victory, and that doing so can actually lead to unnecessary casualties. Some say this concept has led to poorly executed police actions and limited wars that have plagued the world since the end of World War II. Some others praise it since it has limited the scope of war. 5 of the key principles of Jomini's philosophy of war are: 1. The objective of war is to defeat the enemy's forces. 2. The best way to defeat the enemy is to concentrate your forces against their weakest point. 3. War is a contest of wills. 4. The use of force must be proportional to the objective. 5. The leader must be flexible and adaptable. Thanks for watching. Please like this video to let us know if you enjoyed it. Also, feel free to comment with your suggestions or ideas.